final set of notes in lesson 5.3. Sometimes you have to rename both equations to create some opposites. Remember, you only have to create opposites in the A's or the B's. Okay, so it looks like the first thing I want to do is change subtraction to add the opposite. So that would probably be why I have the arrow here. 4x plus negative 3y equals negative 13. And then we don't have any subtraction in the other one. So we'll leave it like it is. This is not one of them that's on that sheet. This is a different one. What did we do next that would kind of maybe help us out today? What was the next move we made on that warm-up sheet? What did I have you do, JC? Yeah, the A's and the B's. Let's do that. A equals, B equals, B equals. So go ahead and identify those. And I'm suggesting that I want us to create opposite B values. So let's zero in on the B's. What do you think we could do? If we multiply the first equation by, remember there's lots of choices, but we only have to pick one choice. So any suggestions for what we could do? Emerson, what do you want us to do? Okay, so remember we're zeroing in on the B, so you're going to take the first equation and multiply by 2. And what would we multiply the second equation by? 3 or positive, negative 3? Emerson's saying 3? Okay. Let's check it out now and see if it works before we even go to work here, okay? So we say 2 times negative 3 is what? Negative 6. And 3 times 2 is? 3 times 2 looks to me like Emerson's right. It would create opposites, wouldn't it? And that's what we needed it to do, create those opposites. You want to make sure that we have those opposites before we go to work multiplying. Okay, let's do our multiplying in this space right here. So we're going to take the first equation and it says we're going to multiply it by 2. So 2 times 4x plus negative 3y equals 2 times that negative 13. And then we have to do the other one today also. So let's just write it down right away. We said we're going to take the second one and multiply it by 3. Okay, so we make our decision. Then we're going to have to rename both equations. So do your multiplying to get them renamed. And after they're renamed, will you move them down to where we can add them together? Or we can set up our vertical addition problem. After you line them up for their vertical addition problem, you look at it and you say, hey, do I really have opposite A values? Or do I have opposite B values? This time we were trying to create opposite B's, and by looking at it lined up here vertically, we can see that we did create that, so we should be able to go to work solving for x, because the y should eliminate. What's negative 26 plus 3?
Negative 23.
Okay. So what do we get for x?
Negative 1.
Okay, so x equals negative 1. Okay. Now I say use either of the original equations to solve for y. Why why do you suppose I suggest that you go back and use one of the original equations? Brendan?
Because you usually have bigger numbers in the newer problems.
Yeah. Yeah, when you rename these equations, you just created bigger numbers to multiply by. So let's go back to the beginning when they were in, not such big, the A's and the B's or whatever weren't quite as big as they are. So which equation should we go back and use? Which one do you like better?
The second one?
Second one? You want to go with the second one? Okay. So 5x plus 2y equals 1. Okay, so write down our equation that we chose. And we'll substitute in for x. So the only new thing today is, instead of renaming only one of them, we have to rename both of them. This other stuff is not new. Anything else agree with me when you're done? Well, chances are, since we use this one, we don't really need to check it for that one anymore. Check it in the other one, see if it makes it true. So you put -1 in for x, 3 in for y, and see if your statement. Okay, so our ordered pair solution is what class?
-1, 3.
-1, 3 is our solution for this one. Now, Rose just asked me this question. She said, is there any way we could check to see if we have the right answer? Well, and I suggested to her, there's one easy check you could do that wouldn't be too much work. You could take the solution, and instead of checking it in that equation that we just used to solve for the y in, because since we used that one to solve for the y, it's kind of like it should check out in that one. Go back and check it in the other one. Go back and say, does it check out in that first equation? If I put -1 in here for x, and I put, did we get 3?
Yes.
3 in for y, does it check? So what's 4 times -1?
-4.
-4. And then I'm going to change that to add the opposite. What is -3 times, I should not do it there though. Okay, what is -3 times +3?
-9.
Okay, so that's going to be plus a -9. And what's -4 plus -9?
3.
-13. It checks out because we get -13 on the other side. So if nothing else, you just want to make sure, take your solution and go back and check it in the one you did not use to solve for the second variable. And it should check out in that one, if it's right. Okay? Any other concerns before we try one more together? Okay, let's go to the back then. Okay, I say, remember, remind us, we can create opposites with either the A values or the B values. So, anybody have a suggestion what you want us to do? Make a choice for us, Trey?
A.
You want to create opposite A's this time? Okay. So opposite A values. Okay, how are we going to do that? Multiply the first equation by what, Trey? -3. Okay, and what should we multiply the other equation by?
5.
+5. Okay. Why? Because let's go up here and say A equals 5 in the first one and 3 in the second one. What do you think, guys? Is that going to work? -3 times 5, -15. That means then we need the other one to be a +15, right? 3 times 5, +15. Good choices. Okay, let's go to work doing it then. Take our first equation, we decided, sometimes, you know what, I would take the time to write this stuff out. Just write it out. That'll help you. You won't get lost in the process. So we're going to take that first equation it says, and we're going to multiply it by -3. So -3 And we're gonna multiply the second equation, and we're gonna multiply the second equation by 5. One choice of many that we could have made. And where these problems can go wrong very easily is you forget to multiply every piece when you're renaming. How many of you have found yourself forgetting to multiply the other side of the equation? Yeah, it's very easy to do, to forget about that other side. We have to make sure we do all pieces before we decide to set them up to add them together. And after we do the vertical alignment, we put them, get them ready to add together. We don't just assume we have opposites and start crossing out. We double check and make sure we have opposites. What's a negative 6 plus 35? 29. Is it positive 29 or negative 29? Positive 29. And 3 plus 55? 58. I just bet 29 times 2 is 58. What do you think? Let's see, 9 times 2 is 18. I'll have a 1 to carry. 2 times 2 is 4. Yeah. So we divide both sides by 29, and thank goodness 29 goes into 58 so nicely. And of course, I have been trying to make sure that I give you most of the time ones where you will get integer answers, so we don't get lost in the process of learning how to do it. Okay, you decide which equation you're going to use. You pick the equation you're going to use to solve for x. Let's see if we all get the same x value. As far as I can go, okay. You didn't have to use the same equation I did, but you gotta get the same, we have to agree on the same x value. And I can be wrong, you can be wrong, I don't know, or we can both be right. So do we agree on x equals negative 1? We have some people who got that also. Okay, so what's our order per solution?
-1, -1, 2.
Okay, -1, 2. These lines will intersect on the graph at order pair -1, 2. Okay. So I will leave this up here for those of you who couldn't get it to work out. You need to have good notes. I'll get the worksheet out to you for you so you can get started here. On that sheet that we were doing at the beginning of class, the first one on there is number 1. The second one on there is number 2. The third one on there is number 3. Okay? You have 6 of these to do. There's only 2 on the back side today. And You can do them right on here, or you can do them on line paper, because that works better for you. Okay, just gonna stop the recording and then I'll put the notes back up for you guys to finish if you didn't get them finished.